check into it, but okay, now we are. I think we're live. I didn't check into it, but I do
Heyo.
believe that I just need to get some things from you. But there we go. We're live.
Whoop whoop.
I just went ahead
What
and
is
just pushed it,
cooking?
just to get it started. God, man, a lot of
Got to
things
do it.
going on. It's going on in your world.
Um, Same old same, man. Enjoying summer. Before I forget, I won't be able to do next week. Heading out on a cruise.
Okay.
Um, so
I am going to be traveling for the next at least the next 4 weeks straight. Um,
jeez.
yeah, yeah. So that's okay. That's what I do. And the big thing for me is, and I think we've talked about this before. In real estate, I don't think there's any clear leader when it comes to AI. I think there are people trying, and I've made the decision for my department, who I work with.
Yep.
I don't ever know if I should actually place that word, what I do it for, in the things that we talk about. I don't know why. Just because this is not, it's not unofficial. This is
Yeah.
Brett and Luke unscripted, unofficial. But so I'll just continue just to be vague, I guess.
In my 9 to 5. No.
In my 9 to 5, which is not 9 to 5, but I
In
think people
my
get that.
24/7.
So I just
I know.
decided that given the platform, that there's no one better in a better position to just stake that claim in the ground and just do it. You
Yeah,
know.
I love it.
So there is a upskilling a lot on AI from a technical standpoint, from a foundational standpoint that agents need to know. One thing that I come into understanding is that uh, a foundational structure is needed. I don't think the average real estate agent or professional, or let's just say millennial, Gen X before,
Hmm.
really have a. I think that once you show them how to ride the bike, they're good. But I think there has to be something, a structured mechanism to teach them the foundations and
Right.
teach them some core elements. Create a listing description. I think automation comes after that. But the basics in prompting, the tools, the
Yeah.
things that are available. The what you and I would describe as low hanging fruit. So
Hmm.
that's a project that I'm working on. I'm going to that Housing Wire. I think I told you they're sold out. So if you didn't get dialed in, they're sold out. I'm going to there in Dallas in the third week of August.
Cool. Yeah, I totally agree. Just the foundational, just basics. I mean, it's just a good place to start. It's like just anything else with using technology and the current what's best practices for growing your business. Just the simple fact of kind of getting started with things and trying to incorporate it into your daily workflow. I think for a lot of people, it's just a really good place to start. Just see where you can incorporate it, how to apply it to certain uh, processes or workflows that you currently are doing to help improve your day to day.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit. So um, I've been really nerding out on it. So from a foundational standpoint, coming from my adult learning, from my background in teaching other people,
Hmm.
I think I got a pretty good structure that
Yeah.
will, get people going. I don't think that we're going to be seeing a whole lot of. I don't think the masses are going to be utilizing AI to its fullest potential, not
No.
in the near term. I just got access to ChatGPT's agent. It
Nice.
literally just went live for me
Popped in.
yesterday afternoon. I haven't even had a chance. Now, maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember what time. I haven't had a chance to really mess with it to see its functionality.
Yeah.
and there's not a whole lot of information on it. So I'm going to be playing with that. It sounds pretty amazing that I can get it to reserve flights for me, or put together my flight
Right.
itinerary to do follow-ups and such. So I'm pretty excited on how that aspect's going to work. I did also see that Elon Musk just said that Grok is going to the Grok assistant voice is going to be powering the Tesla Optimus robot.
Nice.
I assumed that. So
Right.
when that came out as news, I'm like, well,
You're like,
yeah.
well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. There's a lot of crossover. Um, uh, uh, Random question: did you, in your when you made the decision, you planted your flag in the ground to be like, "Hey, I want my organization. I want to lead my organization into this," and you're going through your list of things to like teach and train. Did you ask AI what it thought, how to structure that?
Yes, as a matter of
Okay.
fact, I did. And I read this book. When I say read, I use that term very loosely. I listened to a book.
Right.
There was for the longest time that I like reading the book because I understand things more thoroughly.
Hmm.
But now I have this process. I used to read a book really, really fast and then go back and methodically read it again. So now what I'm doing is I just get the audiobook and the book. Most of the books are now on my iPad.
Yep.
I don't get the physical book. But now I listen to it really fast, and then I go back and read it, sometimes while listening to it. And so I'm actually carving out time. When you're reading anyways, you can't read and drive at the same time. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to. And if you're going to take the time just to read it, you may as well take the time just to study it.
Yeah.
And so I've developed out this process. So the last one I just read or listened to, and I'm going to go back through and do the book, was AI for Leaders. It was written by the same guy that did The One Thing, that was
Yeah.
co-written with Gary Keller. Great book. Great book.
I did not know the one thing was co-written. I thought that was his own thing.
Who,
But
Gary's?
yeah,
Um, Now let me get this guy's name. It was Jeff
because that
Woods,
was
the
Jeff Woods.
AI driven leader.
Because that was a phenomenal book. The one thing. Um, so that's a nice little gem to share there.
Yeah, and
But
actually he shares his story on how that came to be.
mhm,
He was hired independently, and he made this story on day one that Gary went up to him and says, "Look, if you need me for anything, then I don't need you. So don't." So in a way, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but in a way, what he's saying is like, look, if everything that you're going to build is contingent upon me showing up, then that's not what I need. I don't need you because I'm the one who's showing up.
yeah,
So the whole thing was developed out independently on Gary's payroll, but according to that,
nice.
it was developed independently. So, and then I also watched this master class on AI by a person by the name of, I can't remember, I think it was Ali or something like that. And it was called, I think it was just called AI First. How we went from digital first, we went to video first, and now, of course, now it's AI first. And so you combine those two together, what I've been doing, you combine
Hmm.
those two together on the human brain, and it was just, that's how I was able to develop out this structure and course
Love it.
utilizing AI. Now I'm going to let my subscription on Grok, my pro subscription on Grok, expire. It just renewed accidentally. And the reason why is it might be really, really smart, but it's not in tune with the real world. And I'm going to give you an example. I clicked on this prompt that says top news for today,
Hmm.
and it started telling me about things about the election, the presidential election. I'm like, what are you talking about? So it was like, it has a hard time for the here and now. It's not
That's
exactly accurate on real time
shocking
things.
considering it's like got access to like literally like the most up to date information.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I
I
mean,
find that, and it
with that,
wasn't just a
like,
one-time occasion. It's gotten to the point where it's become frustrating. In addition to that, it takes a Chat GPT. You ask it something, it answers you really, really quick. Grok takes time to really think. Like you can walk and go to the
yeah,
restroom or get some water and come back, and
it's still
it's
still
still doing
processing.
that. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of it's going to get better and better and better. But
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, personally, I've seen use cases for different platforms for different things. Um, so I think it's one of those situations like it's. Um, I, I know a lot of folks that will use it for like research, bit like B2B type stuff, more along those lines. But for your average everyday person, I think ChatGPT's definitely a nice user friendly experience, and so. But
have you ever
to
used
touch on your point,
have you used Claude?
yes, my the main thing that I will use Claude for is working on softwares. So like that in combination with like a no code like Lovable or Cursor, um, uh, where it does a really really good job of like I could just take a screenshot of some code and upload it, and it will like fix it and output whatever the new code is, should be. And I don't code. I don't know what's wrong. I don't like I could talk to it in like plain English. I'm like, "Hey, here's what the code is. I want it to do this. Can you fix this?" And then it'll spit it out, and
So
then
I'm wondering if Grok would be good for that, because
I think
that's
so.
what they're promoting it for, is just that really
Yeah.
deeper. It's not meant to be the casual conversation thing. It's meant to
Right.
be that deep, scientific, really problem
Right.
solving.
I mean, he's probably building it for like more so,
Probably for
thinking,
Mars.
right? That's like, hey, I want this
Yeah.
to get us to Mars. Like
It's
that's
like
my
HAL
first priority.
2000 and
Seriously.
25.
I need it for what are the humanoid units or the bots like,
Optimum.
so
Optimus.
Optimus, so it's like he's like starting there like Optimus, the cars, Mars, he's like, okay, I'm building this top power and operate all of this stuff, not necessarily for the grandma to ask for 10 new recipes for her
Yeah.
for her
Yeah.
upcoming big
Well,
sale.
I think he's doing some really, we live in a really great time. Now bringing it back around onto the whole real estate side of things, um, we're doing a competition. Actually, let me pause there. Did you notice my new background?
I was meant to comment on it. That
So
looks
it's my
really
new pet
nice.
project, as you know, and uh, not affiliated with anything real estate. It has everything to do with fitness. This is another thing. Everything I do just comes down to a certain decision. I'm very slow to make commitments, but when I commit, I'm all in. And so I've stuck the stake in the ground that rucking. It's kind of my genesis program back to when I was a young man in the Marine Corps. And
Yeah.
so you can see over here, that is the logo of Semper Ruck. Semper Ruck is a a nod to the Marine Corps for Semper Fi. It's
Hmm.
Latin. Semper Fi is short for Semper Fidelis, and it's Latin for always faithful. This says Semper Ruck, always Ruck. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the Marine Corps emblem has the eagle, globe, and anchor. And now we have a phoenix and a ruck bag. Again, another nod to it. And then that is a picture that AI generated for me, and that's going to be the cover of the Getting Started guide that I'm creating.
Chef's kiss. I love the incorporation. I mean, I love it all. The phoenix, like at that rebirth. Like, hey, I'm 50. Like, you can start at any time. Nod.
And that's
Very, very
really the
cool.
thing that I did is again sticking just making that decision
Yeah.
and just doing it. Dude, I had a hard time out yesterday. I was dehydrated. I didn't feel well. I had meetings in the morning. I woke up late, and I didn't get out until I don't know 2 o'clock, and every step sucked.
Mm,
Did it anyways, but every step sucked. But going back to that is that my audience is A, probably between 40 and 60. B, slowly deteriorated over time and wants to get back. Did you ever watch the Obi-Wan series on Disney?
mm-mm.
Do you follow Star Wars?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I haven't kept current with. I mean, I'm familiar, but I haven't. You know, I'm old school Star Wars.
So here's the cool thing about the Obi-Wan series. I'd encourage you to watch it. I mean, I think it might be like 10 episodes,
Okay.
but it's the prequel of when Luke was a boy
All
and
right.
Obi-Wan was the young person assigned to watch him from afar because you get introduced to Luke and Obi-Wan in that first Star
Yeah.
Wars. So it's that period for when the kids were born and that when he meets him as a he's a hermit. But it shows a time in Obi-Wan's period. Obi-Wan was a powerful Jedi. And it shows a time where he's just lost it. He's lost the
Really.
force. He's slow. He's timid, and then uh, and then something happens, and over the course of each episode, it shows him slowly getting stronger and becoming who he once was, and then the climax is him having probably the coolest duel ever against him and Darth Vader, Anakin, at the end,
Hmm.
using the Force and getting strong. In fact, now that I'm remembering it, there was a midpoint episode where Darth Vader showed up and just beat the living crap out of him. And then towards at the end episode, it's like, oh, you're back. You're
Yeah.
strong. So I use that parallel because I've watched it, and it's a very similar journey that I see that I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a member of the Force, but I'm not a magician, but it just slowly you get your confidence back. You can do a lot of different things. So I encourage you to watch it. Anyways, that's where this came from, and that's where this came from.
Absolutely love it, dude.
I'm doing everything that we've talked about for real estate and mortgages and such, and things that I recommend to agents with this.
Nice. It's
Going to run ads,
good,
going to have an offer,
good use
going to
case,
have a trip line, start
right?
building out a community.
Like, here's the framework. It's applicable to everything. Just follow along. Check the boxes.
That's all you have to do, man.
It's not. Yeah.
That's it.
It's
That's it. And what's interesting is I think I said this last week. I was talking to some top agents, and when they said go back to basics, nowhere in back to basics was cold calling, cold door knocking. The prospecting methods for some of these top agents, they're on it. Anyone who is, unless you're completely broke and you have no resources and you need business now, yeah, you should go back to those traditional activities because you've got to get in front of more people. But even then, I would probably challenge that. I would challenge that creating content. Was it you that you and I were talking about that you have to recognize that just because only like 100 people showed up to like a webinar,
Yeah.
100 people showed up to a webinar. Imagine
Right.
that of a room.
Yeah.
And
I only got 200 views on my last video.
yeah,
You're like, like, I know we're in a world of like millions of views on videos, but take a moment and like try to visualize a room of 200 people.
yeah,
Like, you just had 200 people view your video.
yeah,
200 people just saw
200
that.
people.
Like, it's okay. Like, give yourself a little bit of like, um, you know, give yourself a little bit of permission to like appreciate that for a moment because it's lost on, can get very, very easily lost on people. Like, oh man, I keep making videos. I only got 200, I only got 400 views. That's an insane amount of people.
Yeah, yeah. But no, lot of good things. But with agents, I think that I think where the big miss is not coming down with that free offer, coming down with the how to buy a home guide, coming up with how to sell a home guide, and going really hyper focused on knowing your neighborhood, like the neighborhood that you live in. Everything that they have is at their fingertips. Now, here's the thing though, no one's going to know how to do this, just wake up and understand how to do it. And this is something that I often share. I share this with leaders in the real estate, and uh, I've built out a system to allow them to leverage a lot of training curriculum. Some of these really big company owners, and I say, look, training needs to happen. The bandwidth and scheduling needs to occur, and somebody needs to sign the check to pay for it.
Hmm.
Now, you can either do that yourself, which is a lot of what them do, or you can leverage what we're doing over here on the corporate side and you can go and buy a boat or reinvest it into something else. And that the interesting thing is that anybody can figure anything out in a long enough timeline. You
Yeah.
can go trial and error. You and I have done trial and error consistently. That's our personality. That's us. That's not everybody. Some people have a longer timeline to try to figure things out. Other people don't. But here's the thing when it comes to real estate agents in a shifting market, you're at like almost ground zero. There's a lot of different places that are ground zero. Texas is one of those ones that the door swung really far to the other side. Agents need to adjust. They need to figure it out. They need to figure out how to reset their sale. And so they have two options. They can just trial and error it and hope to God that they don't have to go through many iterations of that because people have limited resources and time, or they can have someone teach them and, and, and,
Yeah.
and slow that down. And I think that's a good example of what you're doing um, with your system and training program and such. We're really doing the same thing,
Yeah.
we're just in different buckets.
I am a big believer of, buying that learning curve, in pretty much everything you know, and even in my process of like testing and learning and doing everything, it's like, oh, I'm interested in this. Like, who's, four, two steps ahead of me that I can buy, that time back in learning curve. And to your point of like reading books and stuff. I mean, that's s- the simplest, most cost-effective way so many times to do. Like, the
100%.
amount of time that people put into a book, the time and effort, and then it's condensed down, edited, every single last sentence to a point where it's like, it could be somebody's life work in a book, and you can you can consume that, buy that learning curve back, that time back in that learning curve
Yeah.
for a few bucks, and an hour or a couple hours of your time.
Yeah.
um
So I won't read books for entertainment. Everything I do is have some sort of self-help,
yeah,
something in there to accomplish it. So I've always looked at books as workshops.
yeah. I I've always heard that should also read for entertainment purposes too, but I just can't.
I can't.
I
Like
can't.
you know what I'll do is I'll watch Netflix for that. Now
Yeah,
yesterday, my ruck, I had a hard time, man. I did not want to listen to music. I tried listening to my book. I had to turn that off. I tried listening to a podcast. Nope.
there's
I
just
just needed to be
sometimes.
alone in my agony and just
Yeah,
power through it.
that's the best place to be sometimes. You know, one book that was like something. This is a great book, and it was it's a it's almost a combination of like getting lost in a store, like a story, The Goal by Eli Goldratt.
The Goal by Eli Goldratt.
Goal. Yeah, Goldr, I think it's Ratt. Um and it is, so it's told through like it's like a told through like a narrative process, like a story, but um the the concept is, it's essentially like, summarize it, it's like the theory of constraints. So if like you take like your like the concept of like the Toyota manufacturing, like if you build, if you're able to build, four tires, one engine, 16 steering wheels, or like eight tires, 16 steering wheels, and one engine a day. Like, what you can build as many tires and wheels as you want, or many tires and steering wheels you want, but you still are constricted by the engine.
Yeah.
Um, Really, really solid book.
Cool.
Um,
I'll put that on my list.
but if you ever
I'm
want
going to
to
go
get
back through.
lost in like the story,
Right now I'm still on that AI driven leader. So I'm powering
yeah,
through that for the first go round. Got a lot from the first go round. Uh, Starting this weekend, I'm going to go through. I have a lot of airline time, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to break that down into work stop. Okay, so
I love.
we, my friend, are at time. I'm running a little bit late, but as always,
Let's
it's
get it,
good to connect with you. Let's connect offline and let's get this dialed in for your YouTube channel
yeah,
next
buddy.
week.
Rock and roll.
All right, brother. Bye.